Hello once again, everyone, and welcome to PurpleEagles.com. My name is Todd Callen, the radio voice of Niagara basketball. My pleasure to be joined today by Jada Pierce, the head basketball coach for the women's program here at NU. Jada, thanks so much for stopping by.
Good morning, Todd. Always great to see you.
Good to see you. And Coach, last time when we met, you had just arrived on campus. You probably had some boxes to unpack. Now you've got a bunch of practices under your belt. Talk about your team and how they've taken to your style.
The team has been doing really well. 22 practices in. I think they've really gotten an idea of what we're asking them to do overall from an offensive standpoint and a defensive standpoint. You know, there's no secret. Our bread and butter is our inside game. The guards have done a tremendous job of becoming really good passers to get the ball inside to Rampado, Strumpel, as well as Lapzinski. So I'm really pleased with that. The up-tempo-ness is looking really good. We're pushing the ball up the floor quite nicely. I think we're going to surprise some people this year.
That's where I wanted to go to next. You did mention on our first visit that you do like to push the ball up the floor and maybe try and run another team out of the gym. Go into a little bit more detail on how that's going for you and your team.
Yeah, you know what, we work on transition offense as well as defense every day, and I think the point guards mostly, because they're going to have the ball in their hands a lot, have realized that less dribbles is more. Get it up the floor. Post players are running really well. They're in great shape thanks to our new strength and conditioning coach. I think we're ready to really do some things.
Now let's talk about some areas that you feel the team has really taken to, like the up-tempo, and then maybe some areas where I might need to reinforce this a little bit more. We've got some time before the season starts. Here's some areas that we need to go at again.
Yeah, I feel like our man-to-man defense, it's coming along okay. We actually started with man before we started working on our zone, and I feel like, you know what, we should be further along. We're not right now, but I know it's going to take time. But the zone actually looks really good right now. We're doing some trapping out of it, which is going to cause some turnovers.
Now, one of the things you mentioned was you highlighted some of your individual players, and let's start with Victoria Rampado, a preseason All-MAC first-team selection. I know she's going to be an impact player for you and a go-to player for you this season. Talk about what's impressed you with all the accolades coming in, but when you see her day in and day out, what makes her so good?
What makes her so good is her work ethic. When your best player is your hardest worker, you're always going to be okay. And she's always in the gym. There's not a day that goes by that she doesn't get in to work on something. And she's open and receptive. I tell her one thing at practice that she needs to work on. There's no doubt about it. The next day, she's in the gym working on it to get herself better. She's also dropped some weight over the summer, leaned out a bit, and I think that's helped her conditioning. And she's our best person running the floor right now.
Now, another player to talk about, one of your senior captains, Sam Lapzinski. Talk about what Sam brings to your team.
Sam's bringing a wealth of experience. I know she hasn't had a lot of playing time the last 3 years, but you know, just with her watching, seeing what the older kids were able to do that she played with last season, I think she's ready to go to have an impact on the team. Right now, she'll probably be coming off the bench for us, but there may be times where we have to start her, and she's going to be ready for it.
Likely another player in that starting lineup for you, Kahleah Strumpel. Talk about Kahleah, another one of your captains.
Kahleah, my nickname for her is the Terminator because she's just someone that keeps coming at you. She can do many things. She's very versatile, just like Victoria. She can shoot the three. She can take you off the dribble. And more importantly, she rebounds the ball like an animal. I think Kahleah is going to be someone that, you know, people didn't really notice last year, but you're going to know what she's able to do after the first couple of games.
Taylor McKay is a final player that I'd like to highlight individually. Talk about the energy and what Taylor brings to your program.
Taylor has done a tremendous job. You know, we talked right before practices started about her being our defensive stopper and our captain on defense, and she's really taken that role wholeheartedly and just really has led this team. In every practice, she's our best defensive player. She's talking, she's communicating well at a very high level right now, and I think that she's somebody that can be a challenger for the Defensive Player of the Year if she really stays focused this season.
Now, we know there's more than just the starting five or those players that you highlight. Talk a little bit about the supporting cast. I know you have some incoming freshmen, but also some returning players that might turn into some good role players for you.
Yeah, we have some really great older players that have had a chance to watch and learn that are going to step right in and give us some great minutes. At the point guard position, Jamie Sherborne is someone with a very high basketball IQ. I really trust her running the team. She has a pulse on who needs to get the ball, where, and when, and she's done a great job so far with the preseason and with practices starting. Emily Grandruth Ruth is going to be, our shooter on the team. She was someone who, when she did get in last year, she made shots. So there's a confidence level that she has right now. We're working on some other things with her to be able to put the ball on the floor a little bit. But what her bread and butter is the three-point shot, and we also need somebody to extend the floor that way.
Now, Coach, let's talk a little bit about your non-conference schedule. You'll open up the season at Texas Tech. There's a game in Olean at St. Bonaventure. Right here inside the Gallagher Center, you'll host UB. I know that's always a big game on the schedule. Talk about what you're looking to accomplish with the non-conference schedule you've put together.
We're hoping to just get ourselves ready for the MAC play. I think that facing a team like Texas Tech that'll have a little bit more size, a little bit more athleticism will help us in the long run. If you can hang with kids like that, you're going to be okay in our conference because you're not going to see those level of athletes. Bonnie's is always tough. I've faced them the last 3 years being in the A-10, just with that motion offense that they run, very similar to Marist. So that'll help us in those games. And as well as Buffalo, not as familiar with them yet, but I know they have a ton of athletes on their team. So that never hurts to be able to see how you execute against people that might be slightly more athletic.
Well, Coach, it certainly seems like you have your finger on the pulse of the team. It is very good to visit with you again. We wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we'll catch up again down the road.
Thanks so much, Todd.
And PurpleEagles.com again, folks, is your place to get all the information. The women's season will open up November 13th on the road at Texas Tech. Keep it tuned right here at PurpleEagles.com for all the information. My name is Todd Callen. Have a great day, everyone.